Hello. Welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. Generally like to talk a lot of bollocks. Tabletop gaming in general, and in this video we're going to be talking about a deck building worker placement game. We're going to be talking about the Lost Ruins of Arnak, and in this game you'll be sending your explorers out onto an uninhabited island to gain resources that will allow you to spend resources that will allow you to win the game. So in this video we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules. We'll be telling you what we do like, what we don't like, then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not the Lost Ruins of Arnak is worth your time or bother today and in the future. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below, will you? See ya after this. Bollocks. So, Lost Ruins of Arnak. How do you play this game? So the Lost Ruins of Arnak is a deck builder slash sort of worker placement game where you'll be sending your workers out to sites to maybe dig. You'll be buying cards to put in your deck. You'll be making your deck as efficient as possible. And these cards will allow you to take actions that will allow you to move up a research track where the bumper amount of points are generally located. So this game follows a set number of phases. Everybody will start with a generic deck of cards. You'll draw 5 cards from the deck. Dependent on how many players are playing a game, you'll block off a certain number of spaces on the board. And if you go first, you'll get a certain amount of money. And if you go second, you'll get money and exploration tokens and that. There's different types of resources in this. There's tablets, there's spearheads, there's rubies, there is cash, and then there's compasses, right? So on your turn, you'll be able to take any number of free actions. Free actions are denoted with a lightning bolt symbol. So anytime you see that symbol, you'll be able to take that action for free. And you can take one main action on your turn, right? The first main action you can take is you can dig at a site. If a site is uncovered, you can send one of your workers out there. You'll pay the travel cost, which is either boots, cars, boats, or planes. There's a hierarchy of travel costs. So a plane can provide you with a car and a boat and a boot. A car and a boat can provide you with a boot, but a car can't provide you with a boat, right? Pay the cost in cards. Cards have dual usage. You've got the travel value, and then you've got the effect value. You just put the card into your discard pile, you move your worker over there, and then you'll take the benefit of that space. So the next action you could do is you could discover a new site. If there's idle tokens on the new site, you'll take them. These will give you 3 victory points at the end of the game and an instant benefit like a resource or something like that. You'll take one of the level 1 or level 2 location tiles. You'll flip it over and you'll get the benefit. But you'll have to flip over a guardian tile. Guardian tiles will trap you there until you pay the cost to befriend the guardian. Not going to kill these things because it's 2022. You're not allowed to kill things in bleed board games now, are you? So your worker will stay there until you pay the cost to befriend the guardian. This is also a main action. You'll pay the cost on a guardian tile and you'll put it in your play area. You'll be able to flip it over and get a boon. Maybe it will allow you to maybe exchange a tablet for a spearhead or spearhead for a ruby. And it will also give you 5 points whether you flip it or not, right? Once a guardian has been befriended, then that site becomes open for other players to dig at that site like you do on your campsite. So the next thing you could do is you could buy a card. You'll look at the card row and you'll see there's artifact cards and there's item cards. Yeah, the blue or red stuff, if you've got the expansion, will move to the right hand side, and so at the beginning of the game there's going to be more items than artifacts, and at the end of the game there's going to be more artifacts and items. So you might have the Pathfinder's staff. When you play this at your age, you'll have to pay a tablet to start off with, and this allows you to relocate one of your workers to a campsite or level 1 site and activate it. Or you might have the one-eyed statue. This allows you to trade a ruby for 2 tablets and 2 spearheads. Or you might have the star charts. You'll be able to pay 1 coin to activate any 2 different campsites, right? So these artifacts, they always cost you compasses to buy, and they're generally quite powerful, and they're a little bit different to the items. So the items are a little bit more generic in their makeup. You might have the fountain pen, which for a free action allows you to grab a coin or a tablet. Or you might have the aeroplane, and it says you could place a worker with a discount of a plane. If you're discovering a new site, you also have a discount of 2 compasses or compi. Ugh. Or you might have the brush, and this allows you to gain 1 compass for each idle token you have, up to 3 ways. So all of these cards are super duper. It's just a game that keeps on giving. So the next main action you can do is you could play a card. You'll put the card in your discard pile and then you'll take the benefit of the card, right? So the next one you could do is you can research what you do. You'll take either your magnifying glass or your notebook and you'll move it up 1 space on the research track. There is a couple of caveats to this. Your magnifying glass has to be on the same space or above the notebook, and you can only move up to a connected space, and you have to pay the cost, of course, won't you? So when you get to the top of the temple, you'll choose one of the spaces to put your magnifying glass, and then every subsequent research action, you have to pay either 3, 2, or 1 of the costs on the top of the temple, and this will allow you to get temple tiles that will give you 11, 6, or 2 victory points respectively. I'm saying that. So there's also assistance in this game. If you move up the research track, you'll see that you can get assistance. You'll take an assistant from the top of one of the 3 stacks and you'll place it on your board. You'll be able to use those assistants as free actions, and there's also ways of upgrading them to the gold standard of assistantness if you move up high enough on the research track. Once everybody's passed, you will do a little bit of refresh. You'll keep doing this until you've played 5 rounds, and then you'll go through a bit of final score, and you'll get points for cards, you'll get points for guardians, you'll get points for bleeding everything, right? It's a point fest, this one. Player who has the most victory points will be the winner, and if there's a tie, it's the player who got to the top of the temple first, right? They will be the winner of the Lost Ruins of Arnak. So what do we like about the Lost Ruins of Arnak? So the first thing that we like about this game is that the cards and the tiles sort of have a thematic link to the theme of the game, right? They've tried their best to link sort of basically an arbitrary set of symbols to something that links with this Indiana Jones sort of style, Tomb Raider-y sort of aesthetic. So the flask, for instance, allows you to draw 3 extra cards. This sort of thematically says you'll be able to do more because you've refreshed yourself, you know? Or the sea turtle, which you can load up with all of your shit, allows you to draw another card and then place a worker with a discount of a ship, right? So the sea turtle's not really a ship, but like I said, they do try their best to try and link these cards to something thematically, even if it is a little bit like something out of an acid trip. So the second thing that we like about the Lost Ruins of Arnak is that there's so many different pathways through this game. There's so many different permutations, so many different options, so many things that you see 1 minute and then they're gone the next because somebody's moved onto the spot that you wanted, or somebody's taken the card you wanted, or they've taken the tile that you wanted, or taken the guardian that you wanted. You're constantly shifting your focus from one part of the board to the other, and then you've also got the deck of cards that's in front of you. So this game requires an interesting level of forward planning, but it's also dynamic in the sense that your plans are subject to change based on the way that the game moves, right? So the game is constantly asking you questions. How far ahead are you going to plan? How far ahead are you going to take a punt, hoping that you can get to that spot before somebody else? So the final thing that we like about the Lost Ruins of Arnak is it looks absolutely bleeding gorgeous, doesn't it? Right? The artwork is pretty good. It's a colourful game. All the pictures on the cards are different, and they've just gone to town with the whole aesthetic of the game, and we really, really like it. It's an absolute joy to have this one on the table. It looks absolutely fantastic. So what don't we like about the Lost Ruins of Arnak? So the first thing that we don't like about this, I don't know about you, but as I was punching this out of the old punch board, a few of the tiles ripped. Some of them didn't really matter because they ripped on the side which you can't see. We had a problem with a couple of the guardian tiles. When you punch it out, the paper on top of the cardboard hadn't glued down properly, and the paper ripped off so that you can tell which guardians are going to be coming out next, right? To their credit though, CGE have said that they're going to send us replacements, and so just be wary if you are thinking about picking this one up. Be very, very, very careful when you are punching out these pretty fragile tiles, right? So the next thing that we don't like about this is it can be kind of frustrating if your plans get disrupted on a regular basis. And if you add to this that it does sort of tend to benefit players that have played it before because they know the inner workings of the game, generally new players are going to be sort of struggling and they're going to be left behind because they're not going to know what all the cards do and the synergy of the cards with the tiles with your deck Evo, right? So yeah, if you're constantly sort of battered and bruised and thrown into a corner of misery, then this game isn't really going to be that exciting for you. So the final thing that might be a problem for you, it's not really a problem for us because we like these sort of games, but it might be a problem for you, is that at the end of the day, this is just basically acquire resources and spending them to get points, right? That's all you're going to be doing. You could really toss the theme out the window. You could just have some counters on the board. You're just going to be trading in this counter to get that counter and then spending that counter to get that action, right? That's all it is. So really, for some people, I suppose the theme is inconsequential. It sort of does tend to melt away. And for a lot of people, this game is just going to be a lot of bean counting. If you don't like that sort of thing, then this game ain't going to be for you. And there's nothing that this game is going to do for you. So to summarise, is Lost Ruins of Arnak worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we're going to say, yes, absolutely. This is an absolutely fantastic Euro-style game that blends the best elements of worker placement, deck building and engine building into one gorgeous looking package. It's addictive at the end of the day. I just keep wanting to play this again and again and again and plot my pathway through the game, seeing if I can get more efficient and more greedy at the end of the day, because this is a game that just keeps giving you stuff, right? If you like games that just keep giving you stuff all the time, if you like acquiring stuff, spending stuff, acquiring stuff, spending stuff, getting more and more and more, then this game is for you. If you're more of a moving minis around a map, rolling dice and all that sort of thing, this isn't going to be a game that interests you, because the theme isn't really that strong. It looks nice, but the theme isn't that strong. And it's definitely sort of a Euro in disguise, I suppose. If you can get over the abstract nature of this game, the sheer amount of options and permutations in this game is mind-boggling. If you add in the expansion, you're going to have asymmetrical abilities for each player based on a certain character. You're going to have more cards, you're going to have more tiles, you're going to have more stuff. So that makes the game even broader. There's going to be another 2 research tracks in addition to the 2 research tracks that you've already got in the core sets. So we absolutely recommend Lost Ruins of Arnak if you like these sorts of Euro games, right? So there you go. That's the Lost Ruins of Arnak. Remember, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below, will you? We'll see you next time.